This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Porto Chicken. Fresh, not frozen. Grilled, not fried. Crown and Andrews Board Games. Fun for the whole family. And Scoot Airlines. Get out of here with Scoot.
Episode 604. Hello, Australia. Welcome to another Big Couch. Tell you what's on the show today. Demelza Leonard is coming in to talk all the latest news about music. We talk about Bryan Adams and much more. Stay with us with that one. Brendan Murdzen's coming in to talk TV and what's happening in new shows, etc. We're also talking to the Bitchin' team, Ted Bull, Chris Ilsley, and we've also got Steve Collins joining us, the travel guide. Later on, we talk to my good friend Rebecca Gilling in Sydney about National Recycling Week that's coming up in November. And we also talk travel with Steve Collins. One of my good friends, Frances Higgins, is coming in from the Kmart Wishing Tree. That's being launched very soon. And we're going to talk to her about how we can all help make people's lives a lot better at Christmas. People who get nothing for Christmas, we're trying to help them as well. Hope you can stick around music-wise. We've got Feedback performing for us today, so it's a huge show. Let me stop talking. Let's roll the tape.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch.
I always love to end the show myself or end the song. Literally, we do the same thing when I start singing, it ends the show. Demelza Leonard is in today talking music, and we're going to go straight to our team, Brendan and Demelza today. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
I'll say hello to Demelza and hello to Brendan.
Hello.
Hello, Brendan. It's quite cool in the studio today because we fixed the aircon, so it's become a little bit chilly. But you've got some great music news for us.
Yes,
Music.
yeah. So, I'm all for promoting local artists and Australian artists who are doing amazing things overseas. Emily Perry. Now, probably a name you have never heard of
I thought she might be
before.
related to Katy Perry, but she's not.
No, she is a Sydney girl.
Yeah.
She's 18 years of age. She's actually cracked the US Billboard dance charts. This is her track
Hey,
Boots.
she wears similar boots to you.
She does wear similar boots to me.
Which one is she, the middle one?
Where is she? Yes, there she is.
Hard to see.
So her single Boom is number 13 on the US Billboard dance charts. So breaking it really well over there in the US at the moment. She's also teamed up with producers Jackie Boys, who have worked with Chris Brown and Justin Bieber. So
Some
she's
good
got
names.
some big backing behind her as
So
well.
where did she come from? She's not one of these idols or anything like that?
No, so she's from Sydney. She took up acting. She's doing acting lessons in the US at the moment. She's an actress, model, and musician. So she's over there at the moment. She was a part of the Glee US tour that they were doing around the US, obviously, at the time. And she's just kept working and working and working. She's released music. So this one and her first single, Sugar Coated, have actually been accepted for consideration for the 60th Annual Grammy Awards as
wow,
well.
that's a great achievement.
Which is a huge achievement. And it also means that she'll be performing for some of the bigwigs in the music industry, Clive Davis and friends, in all the different events that they have leading up to the awards.
Well done for a
in
young
that week.
Australian. Good achievement.
Exactly, to just jump ship and go across to
From
the
acting
US.
to music as well.
Exactly. So
Fantastic.
Yeah, so she's doing fantastic. So definitely a name to keep an eye out for.
Emily, and how can you forget a name like Perry?
Emily, yeah, exactly. Emily Perry.
Because I thought you were going to tell us, you're Emily, of course, we've got our own crew member called Emily. We don't forget her every week. But no, the name Perry always makes me think...
Katy Perry, yeah.
Europe, you know
Yes.
what? There's two things
Are
I
you
remember.
excited about this one?
I am, because when you said Europe is coming back, I thought you meant the Europe bars. You know those Europe bars with
yeah.
Do you remember them? They're like really
I do,
healthy,
like the
but they're not.
sesame roll,
Correct.
nougat, yeah.
I used to eat a box a week of those. But Europe, I remember the band. But
Yes.
can you tell me a couple of the songs and I'll sing
Well,
one for
I can
you?
tell you one of their
Yep.
songs because obviously it's the biggest song, Final Countdown.
It's the final countdown.
I think we have the video. There you go.
Oh, they don't sing it as good as me.
Clearly not.
Looks like Gary Shannon.
Do you love the hair?
I do. I love the hair and theirs as well. But can I say something? They were an amazing band. Have they gone? Have they not been working?
They've never toured Australia.
Really?
There's something for you. They have never ever toured Australia in
Well, I
their
guess
history of being massive musicians.
It's probably
from the
safe
80s.
enough now to come with that hair.
Yeah, probably.
And that one
is.
too.
And hair straighteners have come back,
So,
so they've
they've all
probably got
been in their, what, maybe 70s
I'd say
now?
so. You know, I mean, they released a huge anthem in the 80s, so they are touring in May next year. They teased a little bit earlier on their Facebook page. They said, we're about to release a whole heap of new shows. Here's a clue. What do AC/DC, Rose Tattoo and Midnight Oil have in common? So, of course, Australian fans were like, hold the phone. What's going on? Are they coming? And it was confirmed.
Do you remember when their song The Final Countdown came in? I don't know if you're younger than me, obviously. Do you remember the show Countdown? That
Yes,
Molly
yeah,
Meldrum
with
used to
Molly.
have? They actually used it on his last show. And we all thought when we were younger that must have been
appropriate.
written for that show. So, but they've used it in so many different things. Anything that's ending. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking
Final Countdown.
them singing it now could be a completely
Just
different
think
meaning.
of the royalties
meaning.
they've probably earned on that just alone.
Let's hope they close their show with that song because it could be the last concert they ever do.
Well, and it's all in smaller venues around Australia as
Great
well.
idea.
So kicking it off in Perth in May next year.
May next year, Europe. You've heard it first from Demelza, and get your tickets as soon as they sell. Keep an eye out on all the different ticket people.
Well, it's Perth Concert Hall for Perth.
Are they doing
so
it? Are
it's
they?
a smaller
Isn't it
venue.
a great idea? Because normally we miss out on things because it's not big enough. They don't sell enough tickets.
Yeah.
So by keeping it small, you can either do
Exactly.
an extra concert,
Yeah.
or at least you fill up the one that you
Well,
want.
that's exactly it.
Selena and
Now,
Justin.
Yes, Jelena fans can rejoice. They look like they're back together. So.
I didn't even know that they were
Well, she
apart.
was with The Weeknd.
Yeah.
They've broken up because he wants to be single. So, and she's touring schedules. Now, it's left the door open for Justin kind of swoop in and, pretty
Take
much
her
say
back.
sorry. And so there's her singing her
But you've got to
track Bad
say,
Liar.
you and I have both been critical in the past of Justin Bieber.
Well,
he's reformed.
He is. He's got a spiritual advisor now. He's trying to mend his ways. And, Selena, unfortunately, has been battling lupus. So she was given a kidney transplant by one of her best friends.
I
So
saw
she's
that.
been
She's
a
been
lot
quite
of
sick.
help. So, and this was the catalyst for Justin to say, you know what, I think it's time, if the opportunity ever arose, I'd love to try and mend things and
Yeah,
get back
because I
with
saw
her.
a tweet of hers saying, look, I'm doing well now. I've been quite ill with the
Yeah.
transplant thing. And she's got a lot of followers around the world. And you know what? I have to say, Justin Bieber, I'd love to see him do well because you don't want to hear the same
Do you
story
know
in
what?
about 10
He's
years' time.
very talented. He is a very talented musician. So let's Brian
talk about Bryan Adams,
Yes,
yes.
Bryan Adams heading to Australia
Yep.
very quickly. He's only doing the East Coast and only doing 2 shows in Queensland, 2 shows in Victoria. So
I like Bryan Adams. I have to tell you, he's another one that I absolutely love. Is he in that Hotels.com commercial? Wherever
No, that's
I go.
Richard Marx.
Oh, no, I never liked this
wrong
man.
rocker. Rock 80s rocker.
Bryan Adams, what did he sing? What was
Run
that?
to You, Summer of '69.
Oh, well, they're not the
Please
same
forgive
people.
Me.
Heaven.
Was the
Heaven.
summer? Oh, there you go.
This track with Mel C.
My
Yeah.
Demelza,
When
my
you're gone.
dementia's coming back again, which is not a funny
And
thing.
very quickly, let's have a look at the top 3.
Rich.
Coming in, Ed Sheeran, number 3 with Perfect.
Number 2,
Number 2, it's Camila Cabello featuring Young Thug and Havana.
Havana. What a good name. And at number 1,
And number 1, it is Post Malone featuring 21 Savage with Rockstar for Another Week.
I'm writing it down, by the way, Demelza. Richard Marx and Bryan Adams, we've got that. Yes, 2 different people, folks. Demelza corrected that. Thank you very much, Demelza.
Thank you.
Do you watch a bit of TV?
I do, I love my
Well,
TV.
join in if you like. Brendan's back with us. Brendan Merzen, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Did you know the difference? You knew Bryan Adams really well, didn't you?
I just remember the song with Mel C from Spice Girls.
Yes.
What's that song about driving up and down the street? Who used to sing that? I've been up and down this
That is that
road.
song, isn't it?
Yeah.
When You're
Gone,
Yeah,
yeah.
when you're gone. That's
Yes, I used to love that
Good
song.
memory.
Yeah, it came back again. Thanks. What have you got in TV for us?
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff happening this week. 21st Century Fox has pulled out of their distribution deal with
Why
Network
are they
10.
calling themselves 21st Century when they're 20th Century Fox? Does that make sense? I don't get it.
Or maybe it is 20th Century. I don't know.
No,
What
you're
do they-
right. You're right. They refer to themselves as 21st because we're in the 21st century. But the company was always called 20th Century. So I never understand, because when you go to the movies, it's always 20th Century Fox that brings you the movie.
I don't
They
know. I
never
don't
put
really pay that much
21st.
attention to it. But because CBS,
Anyway, we know who it is.
Because CBS are taking over 10, probably they don't really want to have Fox shows
and
on the
Rupert
network.
Murdoch is not very happy because he owns Fox, and because he didn't get the network, he's saying, pull. I don't
Yeah,
want them.
so there's a lot of shows that are not going to be on Channel 10 anymore.
The Simpsons.
That's one of them. We've got them all here. Modern Family, This Is Us, X-Files, Bob's Burgers, American Horror Story,
Okay.
heaps of really popular shows on there.
There's only one that I
Futurama.
watch, Modern Family.
But The Simpsons has been on Channel 10 for 27 years, so it's going to be the first time it's not on 10.
But isn't it coming to an end anyway? Anyway, there's only one series left.
No,
or they
there's been no
continuing it, are they?
confirmation about anything.
Oh,
So the
I don't watch
29th
that
season is about to start. So
It's going to be a disaster for Channel 10, I think, because a lot of their viewers love those shows.
well, those
right?
are like iconic shows that you've grown up with watching on Channel 10 over the years. Like you just remember The Simpsons every night, like before dinner you watch The Simpsons. Or
But you will watch them. I'll tell you now, they'll be on 9 or 7.
yeah, well I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen?
Why would Rupert Murdoch cut off his opportunity to make money? And I think, yes, 10 will lose them, but they will turn up because they're great shows.
They'll turn up somewhere.
I mean, CBS will bring a lot of their own shows
Yeah,
to 10 as well,
their
which
own
are great.
stuff.
I noticed Will and Grace are coming to
On
Channel 11.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
good
great.
because Will and Grace just came back, so that'll
Exactly.
be good.
So it'll be sad to see them go. Hopefully 10 will
Yeah.
recover. I'm still recovering from losing all my shares, Channel 10. You know?
Well, people are going to have to recover from not finishing different shows. Like This Is Us has now stopped like halfway through the season, and things have just disappeared halfway through. So
You know, there's a big turn now to streaming media like Stan, Netflix, and all those type of mediums. And I think a lot of TV shows will end up going on that because it's prescription paid.
just watch
It's-
what you want when you want.
And the greatest thing is what Foxtel used to be. If you remember Foxtel years ago, folks, you never used to have commercials. And now you've got so much commercials, plus we're paying to have Foxtel. Whereas Stan and all that have very little commercials or none. I was watching Will and Grace actually just a couple of days ago, and they go from a segment to segment with black, and then they come back, there's no commercials.
Yeah, I don't think there is any commercials on Netflix that I
Yeah, there you
remember of, which is why you have to pay for it though, obviously, because free
Correct.
tier.
But I'd
TV,
rather
that's why
have
it's
no
free.
commercials. Anyway, good
Well,
luck,
the-
Channel 10.
Well, Channel 10 actually have another 2 new shows that started last week. So they've got a new drama called Sisters and a new quiz show called Crammed, hosted by Peter Hellier.
Have you watched Sisters? Because I did, and I found it incredibly boring.
I watched it so I could talk about it on here.
What did you
That was
think?
the only
Honestly,
reason.
but I'd love your opinion on that.
I thought it was okay. It was like a normal Australian drama, really. It wasn't like one of my
Did you
friends
get it?
actually played one of the characters in the show, so I watched
That
it. It was
one?
good. No, not Magna. He was the guy that his name's Remy. He was the one that played the guy who slept with his sister by accident.
One of my friends was in this too. He played Joel Creasley. You know the comedian Joel
Oh,
Creasley?
he
was
played
one of our
himself.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was nice to see him. It was cool to see him in there.
Do you know,
but-
I have to say to you, I watched the show, and I watch a lot. I watched Offspring, I watched Wonderland. Channel 10 has a very good production department that makes these shows. That one, I couldn't stand watching more than 20 minutes of. There was too much happening. The topics were just in your face, and I didn't think people gelled. Like
Yeah.
Magda Szupanski, funny comedian, put her as a serious actress, I thought it was terrible.
I really like Magna as well, but I think we just see her as Sharon now all the time from Kath and Kim. So it's like, what's Sharon
No
doing
matter
in
what
this
she
show?
does, she's
Yeah.
Sharon. And you're right. And I don't know whether you want to have a couple of dollars worth here, Demelza, but have you watched that show?
I didn't, but I heard a lot about it.
You've got to watch it for yourself, folks. I just found that it's a bit disappointing. It seems like there's a lot happening in that hour, and just the topics are stupid.
Maybe we'll give them another chance. Maybe
Yeah, I
it was
will.
the first episode they were trying to kind of introduce
Yep.
everyone. So we'll see. Maybe
What else
next
we got?
week. Yeah, and Cram,
Cram,
the
I
show with
watched that.
Peter Hellier.
That I liked.
Yeah, I did see a bit of that. They had like a lot of kind of Channel 10 stars and local
He's got the
people
lady
on there.
from Pack to the Rafters,
Virginia
Gay,
yeah.
and
And
another
I
comedian.
can't pronounce the other guy's name. Dilruk Jayashinya?
Dildo, what?
Comedian. So,
Just call him Dill.
so yeah, it's cool to see
Dill.
Peter Hellier kind of fronting something because he's been like the side
Do you
guy
know
on
what?
the panel.
It
on
was
Rove
really
and stuff
funny. It's
like that.
actually recorded in the old Studio 10 studio in Sydney.
That's why they kicked them out
Yeah,
last
and
week before.
Family Feud's coming to that studio as well, apparently. But I actually thought we were watching it at home, and we thought it's a good show where you don't have to think. It's just something funny to watch that can just relax you.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Something funny to watch can relax you. I don't know if it's going to be a ratings winner, but it's a little bit like that other show on Channel 10, Have You Been Paying Attention?
I like that
That's
show.
how easy it is to watch it.
Yeah.
And, talking about My Generation,
That's coming back to
that's
9.
coming
I
back. Nine's
read.
just recorded a whole heap of shows, and that's coming back with the host, which
Sean
is Sean
McAuliffe, but I don't know if there's different team leaders, so
Correct.
the generations are going to be different.
Look, I don't know. I never believe in recycling things that have died, but you never know. Nine might want to try it like they did Big Brother and it died again. But yeah, let's see what happens. But Cram, very good. I watched it. I thought it's worthwhile.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you liked it.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing on all the shows I really like.
Okay, well, I don't know if you like Kathy Griffin. She's one of my favourite comedians, and she
Didn't
actually
she
was
get
in
into trouble?
Perth last week. I saw her show. It was actually really funny. My mum went as well, and she liked her. I wasn't sure if she would get it or not, but she was very self-deprecating and kind of explained the whole drama with the Trump situation she had earlier this year.
Didn't you get into trouble with someone from, was it the Studio 10 or...
Oh, Samantha Armitage. She
Yes,
was being
that's
interviewed, and
it,
she said that
someone.
Sam was full of crap for saying that
There
the
she
Trump
is there.
thing was an outrage. It's
Is
really
that
that's just
Samantha
a
Armitage's head?
No, it's Donald. It's a mask of Donald Trump's
okay.
face. The
We
whole
blurred
thing is
it
we
out
don't really
'cause-
know why it needs to be blurred out,
Correct.
but it's just a mask. But
I think it's more for people, young kids watching. We don't want them to think it's a head.
yeah,
You've already told
But
people.
you know,
someone's
they
head
see
come
worse
up.
on Instagram like every second. So
True.
I think the whole outrage of it is ridiculous. She was
True.
she was investigated by the Secret Service for 2 months. She lost all of her gigs in America, so that's why she's doing the world tour now, coming to Australia. She went to
So much
Auckland
for
as well,
democracy,
Singapore.
you know. There was a guy, I keep forgetting his name, but there's a young guy that's a bit of a comedian. That he sort of got destroyed by the media a couple of weeks ago on Studio 10. I can't think of his name, but you probably know him better than I do. He's been well known on social media. He's great online, but yet because of his views that are quite valid,
Yeah.
people attack him. And I think she's the same.
Well, with Kathy Griffin, she's been around for about 30 years since Suddenly Susan, or even before that, doing stand-up and stuff like that. She's worked so much, and she's really struggled to kind of make it in Hollywood. She's always been like on the D list.
Milo, thank you. That's the,
I forgot his last name. It's a long last
But
name.
I've watched him, and I actually thought he was valid on a lot of, and he didn't come across the way they were criticising him.
Yeah, well, with Kathy, I was just going to say though, her point is that because she's a woman, she's actually had more flack because Marilyn Manson did a photo with Donald Trump's head. Snoop Dogg's new album cover, Donald Trump is dead on the front cover. So it's like, why is there so much attack towards her when all these other male people that are in the public eye get away with it?
Oh, look,
And she's
anything to
speaking
do
out on
with
a lot of
head and
stuff.
Donald Trump is always involved with some sort of head. I think the man is a bit repulsive and a bit out of touch, but it's amazing how touchy it is with the media. I think one day he's going to need them, and he needs to start making friends. And
Well, he's
bonding.
already friends with the TMZ leader in the media, and Kathy Griffin called him out, Harvey Levin, this week, because Donald Trump is in touch with TMZ, like weekly, controlling what the media is doing. That's
Amazing
like
for
not a
a president,
democracy.
isn't it? Amazing for a president. Anything else?
No, that was all.
Well, I'm going to watch Cram. I'm going to go home and set the DVD player, or the old DVD thing that you record with, and PVR. Thank you very much to Brendan Murdson. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you to Demelza. See you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
But we'll see you at the other side of this break when we start talking more controversy with Bitchin. See you then. Welcome back to the couch. Time to do another bitchin' segment with our bitches today. Let me introduce them. From my left is, of course, Chris Ilsley from 882 6PR.
Left?
Left right out usually. but
Ah!
thank
Are you
very
talking
much.
politically, or
Oh,
are you,
yeah.
you talking...
Well,
I mean, that would make me
It's sort of
right.
like, it's really the far
At some
right.
point, I'll
Yeah, it
actually
is.
get to say hello.
Hello, Chris. Welcome.
I don't mean to be rude. Shut up.
Yeah, 882 6PR, Perth tonight, 8 to midnight, Monday to Friday. Great show. Steve Collins, the guy who produces it for half the week and does other shows at 6PR.
2/5 of the week to be accurate. Is
and
that
you
correct?
also
Yeah, that's
produce
correct.
Peter,
The worst
Peter Newman.
2/5 of the week, I have to say.
Thank you. You're such a nice producer. Steve Collins, of course, our travel
me that before.
producer also on 882 6PR, producer for Chris and also for Peter Newman on Sundays.
Yes,
Brunch.
Peter Newman, he's wonderful.
And he just celebrated his anniversary, 1 year anniversary, I believe.
Oh, for the show, yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing. I wonder
Well, I
how
don't
we've
think-
stayed together for a year, I can tell you that right now.
We were
Peter
saying that-
Newman, the voice of continuity.
Yeah.
and the man who's...
I don't know.
It is the voice of continuity. And I thought-
Voice of continuity.
and I had to say, is he
Particularly
now
'cause there's a week's
diuretic?
break before each.
I thought he was good for continuity because he always gives everyone the shits, but that's okay. But that's a joke. Congratulations
You
to
sure
Peter.
that
Well
was a
done.
joke?
Yeah.
Are you going to take umbrage as his producer?
No, not at all. I say much
Whenever I
worse.
take umbrage, I always have a glass of water.
Hey, if it ain't broke,
yeah,
don't
I'm
fix
Ted Bull,
it.
by the way,
Ted
in case
Bull.
you want to introduce me.
Temple.
Talking about broke, you're not. The man who travels more than me.
Although it's really important, I have to know.
Self-funded retiree.
Are
And look,
you-
it's great to be back. I'm sorry I wasn't here for a couple of weeks, but I had grandfather duties, and I'm afraid that
congratulations on that.
overrules everything, doesn't it?
I don't know, I'm not a grandfather.
Oh, well, it certainly does.
Ted,
I'm
Let me
too
tell you.
young.
talking about your topic today, which you were.
Well,
let's talk about the
I'm actually
zucchini.
talking about a bloke who's older than me. It's hard to believe. This is this, and I love it. An elderly gentleman, an elderly German gentleman. Okay. He's what, 81? He's 81. And he was concerned because he was going into the garden and came across this object in the back garden, and he said, "What is this? Oh, it looks like. It looks like." I've got to use the French one now.
Strudel.
Le bomb. Le bomb. Le bam. Le bam. Looks like a bomb. And he thought that in his backyard was a bomb that hadn't exploded from the Second World
Yeah,
War.
because it's huge and it looked like a bomb. But
It looked like a bomb. Well,
was it?
I saw a photo
Come
of
on, I
it.
need to know what it was.
And let me break. Are you going to?
No, you do it.
Let me say it matches the man's jacket. It really does, because it was a zucchini.
All right.
A very large zucchini.
Might have been a
And-
Dresden zucchini.
Who would have known?
Sort of had a
Seriously,
big knob.
who would
It had
have
a big
known?
knob at the
Yeah, but
end.
zucchinis do.
Who would have
Don't
known the Brits were going to use zucchinis against adults?
It's very,
Very
Monty
cunning.
Python, isn't
It
it?
is,
Or
yeah.
goons, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not a bomb. This is a bomb.
You want a bomb?
But,
It is a bomb.
But I have to break it to you. He had a marrow escape.
Oh, the comedy hour.
Oh, you've missed me.
I would have thought, though,
Yeah.
that being a former member of the Kriegsmarine and a U-boat commander, he would have recognised the enemy's bomb.
You think so? Yeah.
Yep.
It was a
How
down
did he
zucchini.
mistake-
It was a torpedo if he was
no,
a
no.
U-boat.
It was clearly a U-boat commander.
Was he?
Tell me
Was it?
something,
Yeah.
Ted. Did they not send out the army and everything?
Oh, they
to
sent
them?
out everybody.
Yeah.
They had up.
Did they
sent
send
did
out
they
a
blow it up?
gardener? Do you know?
They did. They
blow it up?
No, well, they sent out the zucchini squad,
Yes.
and they couldn't give a fork.
No.
Oh,
thank you.
really?
I wanted to know if they sent in the robotic thing that blows it up.
Yeah.
Oh, how would you be an exploding zucchini?
You would have had a salad. Could you imagine the money involved in the whole thing
They
being
sent
wrong?
in a Thermomix to make a soup. Thermomix is German, isn't it? Yeah. She will get the Thermomix.
On that note, let's move straight on to
I
you.
wonder if anyone telephoned Angela Merkel to tell her just how severe the situation is. I do believe
They
that we have
did.
an unexploded bomb.
Angela Merkel would have said, a zucchini.
She was into, oh, haven't seen one of those for a while,
Yes.
Dumkov.
How very
In fact,
exciting.
she said, I'm going for a swim later on. That zucchini may
Do
hit
you
me.
know what else she would have said? Schnell, schnell, schnell means hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Your story.
Well, I'm also talking about a fork, but I'm talking about a Japanese food
Ted's worried
food
about
firm who's developed a noise-cancelling fork
Yeah.
to take away the socially awkward slurp from eating noodles. As you know, the Japanese,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
their noodles, but when you go there, and
Fork.
you're-
I didn't think they gave a
But how's
fork.
the fork going to stop that? Isn't the noise coming?
well, because it's got a little microphone in it.
Yeah.
And what the microphone does, it detects the sound of the
Yeah.
and then it sets off an app
Yeah.
which plays the noise
Yeah.
of flowing water. And I'm thinking, well, hold on.
Wow.
Why is the sound of a slurping noodle
Any different?
more offensive than the slurp of somebody urinating in the toilet?
And they're
'Cause
supposed
that's
to
what
be.
it would sound like.
Aren't they supposed to be 3-minute noodles? It's going to take like an hour to eat them with all these
Well,
apps and
with all
everything.
the apps and everything, yeah. it
Two
is.
things I think of.
What
One,
happens if you go to use this and it comes up and says your app is out of date? Would you like to update that?
You
two
can't
things
eat.
I think of. One, if you're in love, it is the only time you can eat spaghetti.
It is. Oh,
Isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And the other one is, I cannot think of people being in love and eating spaghetti without thinking of
Well,
the
in
Lady
Japan-
and the Tramp.
Yes,
That
I-
scene from the Lady and
I'll
the
tell you what.
Can you remind us
reckon,
of that scene?
Oh, that's where Tramp the dog
Yeah.
is sharing a bowl of noodles, spaghetti,
with Lady, the
and
other
they're falling
dog.
in love as only dogs can, and they just
Yep.
and they
meet, their lips
yeah,
meet.
they end up with a one strand of
Yeah.
spaghetti, and their lips meet.
In the
And
middle.
of course, at the end of the movie, what happens? There's all these little puppies running around.
because of
Oh,
spaghetti.
if only
That's
he
what-
had some
But
spaghetti
I
today.
reckon-
But you
What
see,
they
these
should-
days somebody would just run a campaign and say they were irresponsible
No,
pet owners who
they-
didn't
they
get their
should-
dog sterilised.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
should change the smartphone app
Yeah.
to change the sound to an exploding zucchini.
When they eat their 3-minute noodle. And, look, we used to say it could only happen in America, now it can only happen in Japan.
Oh no, lots of things, lots of really weird things
Do you know
happen
what I
in
really miss
Japan.
about Japan?
Yeah.
The TV show Monkey.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Adam's
Monkey
right.
Magic.
The Adams thing.
Oh, what about
Monkey
the,
Magic.
Are you old enough to
there
see the
is Fred up
Samurai?
on the
Do you remember the Samurai? Remember Samurai?
Oh, how, I've never
Tom by
forgotten
the
Samurai.
Mist. Tom by
Oh.
the Mist.
Yeah.
Bringing back memories of TV
Was
shows.
that
eh?
was Tom Hanks? No, not Tom Cruise.
No. The original one was Chicago.
Oh, so those are
Arigato.
when Tom Cruise was caught with an exploding zucchini.
No.
Oh, I haven't heard that episode
Oh,
yet.
haven't you really?
No, well, the zucchini would be a lot bigger than Tim.
Chris, can I ask you a
Tom.
question?
Yes,
Have you ever
he's
had an
such a short
exploding zucchini?
Not
Would you
to
plant
my,
one in your lawn?
not to my knowledge. Would I plant one? Well, no, I can't plant one on my lawn. If you live in West Australia,
can have a whole
the
backyard
water
for it.
minister in West Australia, a fellow called Dave Kelly, has declared a jihad on the backyard lawn.
So what are they saying, that we should get rid of our backyards?
Yes.
No, I reckon
Now,
if you're going to
get
have
rid
a
of the
jihad, have
backyard
it on the
lawns.
backyard lawn because there's a lot of space there for
Yeah.
it.
But it does wonderful things, your lawn.
Yeah.
It's like lungs.
Sucks up water.
But it's also lungs. It helps the air to
But
breathe.
you know, the one thing they don't tell you, politicians are really good. This is one of the reasons why we hate politicians. They go on, in Western Australia particularly, they always go on about water usage and they always complaining about how much water householders use. Yet you know how much water householders use?
Not much
No.
in the Median district.
It is 17%
farmers.
of all water usage.
Really?
17%. So these scummy politicians are always complaining about the poor household.
Close the factories. That's what I say.
I say,
Shut down the farms.
Okay, fine. All
That's
right.
much better than digging
well,
up
there you
the
go.
ground.
Glad
That's
you
it.
mentioned that. Talking
Thank you very
about
much.
politicians, and
I'm
this
going
is
to
just
say, he does a much better protest than I would do.
Yeah, he does. You can see him walking
Mind you,
the
when he
streets
talks about
holding
shut
the
down, maybe if we shut down the politicians, I mean, seriously, if we had no politicians for a
have a
year,
better life.
Have
who
you
would
heard-
notice?
Did you hear?
Who would notice?
Well,
Did
you
you
know what?
hear
We're
the
going that
Prime
way.
Minister, just
Yep,
before we
go.
go there, did you hear the Prime Minister, when asked about his job, he said, I've never had so much fun.
Of course.
No
Because
one else has had any fun.
I mean,
he's been
is
paid,
that
least-
he's been paid
at
for
least
2
he's
years
shared
and
it
hasn't
with
done any
everyone else.
work.
But
I mean, if I was
is that
getting
what
paid
the
the sort of
job's
money he
about,
was
to
getting
have
paid and didn't do
fun?
any
I
work,
tell you
I'd be
what,
having
and
fun
can I just
too.
say, the dream that you said, if there was no politicians, the way the federal parliament's going, there probably won't be any.
Ooh,
Can I just
comment
we've
from
got a couple
Fred.
of minutes left. I've got a late news item, which I think just about.
Hello.
Do you remember when we used to get late news items on the Graham Kennedy show?
Yeah.
Mercedes Corby's marks her media return. Awkward appearance on Studio 10. I happened to be the unfortunate soul to
you
switch
saw
on.
it, did you?
But luckily I recorded it, so I was able to turn it off again. What do you think about her coming back? Was that a zucchini throwing up?
No, you can't say, you can't mention her name.
Now we all
without
know
me
she's
throwing up.
Chappelle's
her
sister,
sister, yeah.
Mercedes. Now she made a lot of money years ago. Sued Channel 7 for $1 million for defamation and won that.
She was represented by Stuart
Was
Littlemore.
that
There you
$1
go.
million or
$1 million bucks,
There
$1
is a
million
bit of a
bucks.
difference.
No, it was $1
She
million,
made lots of
Sunshine,
money.
trust me.
Your opinion, do you think that it's time for the Corbys to disappear, or do you think
Mate, I wish
her
they
being on a national TV
I wish
show?
they disappeared
I'll ask
2
you the
days
big-
after they appeared on the news, mate.
They're just, I just don't get why we keep bringing her back.
But then aren't we doing just that from
Well,
what
we
we're
are.
doing right now?
Exactly.
We're
Hoping-
continuing the
Yeah,
story.
Fred, why'd you bring this up, Fred?
Yeah, why did you bring it up, Fred?
Fred?
You're very right.
We
Let's-
were happy with
in the
exploding
bin.
zucchinis and
I am
slurping
gonna-
spoons and
you
people
are-
going
Mate,
cars.
I think a former U-boat commander mistaking a zucchini
Anyway.
for a World War II bomb is much more
And
interesting.
she should change her first name to Volkswagen because she is
Yeah,
a
she-
commoner sort of.
And whilst we're having interesting thoughts, I just realised that this program is pro-grass because it's called The Cooch.
It's been a very interesting bitching today. Can I say to you,
Yeah, in
the
absence of
lawn
a
one,
genuine bitch.
Yeah, there's nothing to bitch about.
that's
We've
right.
tried.
We've agreed with each
you've
other.
done a
What's
very
the
good
point?
job. I mean, you're not really what I'd say bitches today, especially Chappelle Corby's sister.
Actually, you're very lucky,
Chappelle's-
Fred. You are extremely lucky with us three on here.
And can I just
This
say
couch
to-
I was expecting to collapse live on the
Exactly
show.
right.
Well, I was hoping it would. Michelle Corby, if you're watching, don't bother trying to
Michelle,
sue me for
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
And I thought I'd change the name just so people
Yeah,
recognise. Mercedes Corby,
Wonder if
sorry.
the German motoring firm is liable to sue having their name.
Well, I'm hoping she
associated
won't
with
sue us
But
because we
then the
don't have
car
$1
was
million.
named after the daughter of Daimler, wasn't it? Who
Yeah,
was
it was.
Mercedes.
It
Yeah.
was.
Oh, really? Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Daimler's
Let's thank our
daughter.
bitches
Well, they
for
don't
today.
actually say Mercedes,
yeah,
they
yeah,
say
yeah.
Mercedes, because if you ever hear a German, it's
the Fords
Mercedes-Benz.
named a car after their son.
Do we bother
Enzo.
thanking them?
Of
They're just going
course.
to keep
That was
talking
a-
anyway.
That was a zucchini.
Thank you very
Who
much.
named the Nissan Cedric, do you know?
Hang on a
Can we
second. Thanks, Fred.
can we
Thanks, Fred.
thank Chris Ilsley from Perth tonight on
Thank you,
6PR?
Fred. Thank you very
Monday to
much.
Fridays, join him 8 p.m. to midnight. Steve Collins everywhere, everywhere producing all great shows
He
on
gets
6PR.
paid to go travelling.
And he'll be
dude.
back soon to talk travel about the Barossa
Yep.
Valley.
Do you know,
Ted Bull?
whenever having you back again, it becomes ridiculous. It becomes a laugh.
Oh, I know. This
Wouldn't
should
want
be
an
such a
entertaining segment, would we, Ted?
Hang on a
No,
second.
that's true.
It's
but
hard for
anyway,
me and
great.
Ted to bring up
We've
all
just
the
got a
laughs.
note here.
it
It
is,
said
it is.
fun must
Ted Bull,
stop.
Curtin FM, Saturday mornings. Anywhere else? Are you still filling in during the week?
No, I'm not doing any cameo
Not filling any
appearances
slots?
at the moment. No.
Nope, there you go, just the
Unfortunately.
Saturday. Thank you very much, Ted. Always wonderful having him back. And we'll see you wonderfully after the break with more The Couch. See you then. Welcome back to The Couch on Foxtel's Aurora. With me in the studio once again, he was on the last segment, Steve Collins, our Talking Travel.
A bit of a bitch the last segment, but here I am being lovely.
So hard to get a word edgewise with those two, isn't it?
Well, no, not for me, because
No.
all I do is just go like that, you know,
Seems
and
to
that shuts
work.
them up. Yeah,
Seems
it
to
does,
work.
it does.
What do you know about the Barossa Valley?
Well, the Barossa Valley, it's in...
We should have
South
brought some
Australia.
wine in and cheese. I
We should
reckon.
have, yeah. You know what? I went to the Barossa Valley this time and I didn't taste one drop of wine. And the reason why is I don't drink and drive, and I was driving,
Oh, okay.
and so I decided, well, I won't. But I took my wife with me, and I said, if we're going to stop at any wineries, please do, because I've been there before quite a few times. I've done stories on it.
Is it
But
a beautiful place?
It is a lovely place. It's only about an hour outside of
Adelaide.
Adelaide. Although I went to a different way. I drove through the hills, and it was such a beautiful drive to drive through the hills. And you come into the Barossa a different way for a little town called Lindock, which is quite a pretty town. But what we did was we were driving into Lindock, and we saw this sign on the side of the road saying helicopter rides. And Heather said, well, I've never been in a helicopter. So, well, I have. It's great, mate. Let's go and
Let's do
inquire. So we did this helicopter flight across the Barossa Valley, and it was just
This
so
is
good.
the
It was
chopper
a
here,
beautiful
is
day.
it?
Yeah, this is the chopper.
Oh, good footage.
yeah.
Did you take this?
I took all this.
Oh, wow.
But it's such a beautiful. Oh, look at this. This is
Beautiful.
one of the big. This is a Seppelts winery. They're massive there.
How
'cause they've got
beautiful is
some
that?
huge. They've got Penfolds, and of course they've got Jacobs Creek, and they've
Some
got
of our
so
best
many
wine.
great. That's the Jacobs Creek from above. I know that because I've been there and done a story in that little lake.
So there actually is a creek.
Yeah, there's a creek called Jacobs Creek,
Wow.
but the great little towns there, there's Tanunda, there's Nuruyupta, there's just such it's really, really pretty. And when you see it from above, you see just how much
It
of
is
it is under
beautiful.
vines, and it is just a lovely. Oh, there's a little helicopter there, but it was a great experience because you saw it from a different perspective. That's a big dam that's near Lindock, and this is coming into land. I love this part of it because we're really, really low.
You don't get
'Cause-
plane sick, do you?
no, I don't. I don't at all. And being in a helicopter is a bit like being in a hot air balloon with a lot more noise.
Okay, yeah, 'cause-
And
well,
it's not like fly. It's not. You don't get the same sensation when you fly in a winged aircraft at all. It's entirely different. And it's so smooth, and we only flew at about 70
So not very
k's an
high.
hour, so
Oh,
it wasn't
not
too
fast.
fast. You weren't speeding around it. It was really, really good. It
Do you know
was
the
fantastic.
Barossa Valley? A
Yeah.
lot of people like Adelaide. If you ever
Yeah.
say Adelaide to someone, they usually go, "Oh, Adelaide. What do I go to Adelaide?" It seems to me such a beautiful place. So much
Yep.
beautiful wine.
There
comes from
is beautiful wine, really, really good food there. I suppose that the one that everybody knows is Maggie Beer, of course. She's got a big
She's got a
order.
restaurant there, has she?
She's got a restaurant, showroom, etc. Yeah,
We'd know her from all those cooking
all
shows.
the cooking shows. But there's a really good cheese maker there. There's really good butchers because as well as the grapes, they grow a lot of produce. I mean, they grow a lot of cattle, sheep, beef, etc., which are bred for eating, not for the wool. And it's a really good quality stuff. So there's some great restaurants in there as well.
Can you actually stay in the Barossa? Do
Oh,
they
I have
a
stayed in
hotel?
the. I have stayed in the Barossa. Oh, yeah.
Do we have
There's
photos?
plenty of options in the Barossa. There's everything from great resorts to B&Bs,
On any
motels, whatever. Any budget you want. Of course, there's caravan parks there, and it's just such a lovely spot to go. easy to get there just by driving. But of course, if you're going to Adelaide, for instance, and you want to do a day tour of the Barossa, then I would suggest get on a tour because they do the driving, and you get to go and taste all those wonderful
Well, that's
wines.
it, isn't it? You've got all those beautiful wineries, the cheeses. You could just relax,
Just
let
relax
them do the driving.
and let them do the driving and just to partake of it. Now, well, Adelaide is next because we spent a bit of time in Adelaide. Adelaide is a beautiful city. A lot of people say, as you said before, why do we go to Adelaide? Well, I can tell you why we should go to Adelaide, because Adelaide, in my opinion, is the food capital of Australia. The food there is absolutely brilliant. So many great restaurants. This is Glenelg, by the way.
Beautiful beach.
Their beaches are pretty good. It was a lovely day. You get the tram to Glenelg. That's a great trip. It takes about 45 minutes or so. It's a fair way out. That's the pier. But the thing I like about Adelaide, and here we see examples of it, they preserve their buildings. Not only even their own homes, they preserve them all, and all their old shops. It's full of it. There's not a lot of new buildings there, and it's just so beautiful. It's a great place, and just walking around it, they've got a wonderful botanical garden. But this is my favourite. This is the Central Market, right in the middle of Adelaide. It is the best food market in Australia, and I've been to most of them throughout Australia.
I think I've been there. That's like their mall, isn't it?
It is absolutely extraordinary. It's a wonderful place.
To me, it compared a lot like the Melbourne Queen Victoria Market.
I've been to Melbourne Queen Victoria, and in my opinion, the Central Market in Adelaide is much better. There's much more variety, and it is dedicated to food, whereas the Victoria Market's got other stuff as well. This is a botanical garden. It's a lovely botanical garden as well.
What's that?
Oh, well, that's just a sculpture. And this is
it's very clean.
It's beautiful. Adelaide's a walkable city as well because there's not a lot of hills there. And you can get around. This is
how beautiful is that?
It's just lovely. And of course, they celebrate wine and food, and there's all these great little food precincts around it because Adelaide is surrounded by parkland, and just outside the parkland, you've got these very old suburbs where they have this wonderful, wonderful old buildings that have been preserved, but they also have these great little restaurants and bars and pubs.
Yeah, it's got a good nightlife. When we went years ago, I went there about 5 or 6 years ago, and I think it was called the City of Churches back then.
It's still called the City of Churches. They're everywhere.
And there wasn't a lot of skyscrapers like you have in Perth or Melbourne or Sydney.
It's a lot smaller than Perth.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, we drove around and we went to Adelaide Oval. Yeah. We only had a day there because we went there in the days when you know the mystery flights are probably longer.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful place to visit.
It is.
How do you get there?
Well, if the quickest way is to fly, you can also go by train. We've got the Indian Pacific, which goes to Adelaide. That's a great trip. And I've driven across the Nullarbor. Oh, it's good driving across the Nullarbor.
How many days do you reckon you could do in Adelaide and say you've done it?
We were there for 5 days, and we could have stayed a couple of extra, because what happens is the longer you're there, the more you get involved in the city, the more you get to know it. And we just loved it. We were going for walks and drive. We went up to the mountains, Mount Lofty, where there's a great lookout. We went to Harndorf, which is an old German town. There's so much to see and do there. It's really great.
Sounds like a fantastic time had by you. If pros and cons, if compared to the other cities?
Well, one of the cons is that a lot of stuff closes early there, so you've really got to dine early because there's not a big nighttime thing. There, a lot of places are closed by 10, for instance. Pros, very easy place to get around. It's a lot cheaper than Perth, for instance. The prices of drinks and food and accommodation a lot cheaper than Perth. So
and it's a very quick flight from Perth. It's only about an hour and a half.
No, it's about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. It's very close to Adelaide.
Yeah, for us that's nothing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for enlightening us on an Australian city called Adelaide. Do you know where we're going next time?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
You're always travelling.
I know. I've got to decide where to go now.
Steve Collins, our travel guy, and thank you very much. You can catch him on 6PR as well during the week as a producer. And sometimes you're on there doing your review.
I do a couple of travel segments a week, and I do other stuff as well occasionally.
Very busy man. But somebody else is very busy. Her name is Rebecca Gilling, and she's from National. We're talking National Recycling with her on the phone today. Rebecca, thank you for your time.
It's great to talk to you, Fred.
Well, another year has gone past and we've got National Recycling Week starting again tomorrow. How's that feel for you? How quickly does it come
it's
around?
Fantastic. All too quickly. Is it the circular economy? It could be. Certainly the wheels are turning much faster.
How many years has this been going on for?
So it started in 1996. And back then, curbside recycling was in its infancy. And the purpose of Recycling Week was really to educate people to improve their recycling habits by recycling more of the things that could be recycled and avoiding contaminating the recycling stream with things that couldn't be recycled. And of course, over that time, more and more things have been able to be recycled, not just at curbside, but also away from home. Things like printer cartridges through the Cartridges for Planet Ark program, mobile phones through the Mobile Muster program, and a whole range of other ways.
Do you think Australians have become better at recycling? Because I'll tell you why. Over here in Perth, we've only just got our new yellow bin, which is the recycling bin. Before that, we used to just throw it all into one bin. And also roadside curb rubbish now, there's no longer, they don't do that in WA anymore. We now get skip bins where 3 times a year you can order it and throw everything into it, and then it goes into landfill. Do you think we're becoming wiser, smarter and more supportive?
I certainly think we're more supportive. There's high level of enthusiasm for recycling, but there are a couple of gaps. Firstly, there's still too much contamination of the recycling stream. And really the important thing, Fred, is that the stuff that comes out the end of recycling is of a high quality so that it has markets where it can be put back into products that people want to buy. And that's what this year's National Recycling Week is really focused on. The theme is what goes around, why buying recycled matters. And so we're really talking about the circular economy, because even though we're getting better at recycling at one end, we're not so good at buying products with a recycled content at the other end.
Look, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, well, paper's a really good example. Office paper.
Yes.
We recycle about 68% of office paper now, which is terrific. But we only buy back paper, about 18% of paper that has any recycled content at all. And people's concerns, I think, are about quality. But the quality now is as good as paper made from virgin sources.
We just saw a graphic of your own paper, Planet Ark paper, about using recycled paper, and it uses up 50% less energy, and I think it's 60% less water.
That's correct, and it's also 100% Australian recycled, so it's creating jobs for Australians. It's carbon neutral because we offset any environmental impact that we can't control. And it's also FSC certified by the Forest Stewardship Council.
All right.
So it's all around an extremely good story, and the quality, we've done quality testing with people, and by and large they simply can't tell the difference between the two.
Fantastic. Now the week runs from the 13th to the 19th, starts tomorrow, goes to the 19th. Are there special events happening throughout that week that we need to be aware of?
Most certainly. Friday the 17th is actually Friday File Fling Day, and that's the day when people can organise a fling in their office, pull out all those files that nobody's looked at for years and years, shred anything that may be confidential or sensitive, but put that good quality paper back into the recycling stream and then buy it back as recycled paper. And we're encouraging people to do that. If they register their fling, they can go into the running. 20 businesses around the country can go into the running to win 5 boxes of Planet Ark paper, which each one contains 5 reams. So that's a really good prize worth over $400. On Saturday, we have Buy It Back Day, and this is an inaugural event that Planet Ark has launched for Recycling Week, and we're encouraging people to go to their local op shop or tip shop and find something that, a good quality second-hand pre-loved item, take a picture of it, send it in to us and be a part of Buy It Back Day. So there are lots of ways. Kids can get involved through schools, through the school's Recycle Right Challenge. There's a fabulous recycling quiz that people can take part in as well. So improve your knowledge, improve your practices, and buy it back.
Sounds fantastic. Now, if people want more information about Recycling Week, where do they go?
They go to recyclingweek.planetark.org. It's as simple as that.
Another fantastic success, another fantastic year for you, Rebecca. And Rebecca, if people want to buy the Planet Ark paper, is it available?
Yes, it's available at your favourite station around the country.
So look for it, because all the money goes back to Planet Ark, which is a great cause.
That's exactly right.
Good luck and congratulations, and hope everybody gets involved in Recycling Week. And as always a pleasure to have you at the other end of that phone every year, and keep up the great work.
And thank you so much for the opportunity, Fred.
You're very welcome. Have a wonderful day. There you go, that's Rebecca Gilling, as always, the spokesperson for Planet Ark, and she does an amazing job, great actress as well. We'll be back with more after the break. We're talking the Kmart Wishing Tree with Frances, another great spokesperson. See you then. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Oh, I'm such a good singer. Welcome back, everybody. It is Christmas very soon, just over a month and a bit's time. But as always, it's time to talk Kmart's Wishing Tree. And with me, the lady who knows everything there is to know about the Wishing Tree, Frances Higgins.
Hello.
From Kmart Australia, and you're from the Maddington store.
Yes, that's correct.
Welcome
Fred.
back.
How are you? Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for letting me come back.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. It was hard. But I thought we should. I had a meeting with all the crew, and they said, "Oh, bring her back." And I said, "She goes, oh, she's your best friend now."
Yes,
but
I
you know
am.
what? You are, because I love Kmart, and I love what you guys do with the Wishing Tree. Run us through the launch, because we're having the launch very soon.
Yes, we are.
What's
We're
happening?
having the launch on the 15th of November, the Wednesday, and hopefully all across Kmart, all across Australia, as well as WA. So it will be the official launch. But obviously this year, 2017, is 30 years.
I cannot believe
30 years.
30
It is a
years.
great, big celebration for all of us at Kmart. So they want us to make it big and make it in a party atmosphere, and hopefully that's what all Kmarts are doing.
So
we are.
Let's run through how it all works. What do we need people to do at home? So if you're watching this at home, this is all you have to do.
Well, as I say, you come into all Kmarts and across Australia, and obviously in WA, and the Wishing Tree will be up,
Yep.
and they will have their tags, as
So
you
you
can
bring your
see.
gift in.
And you bring your gift, and then place it under the tree. Doesn't have to be wrapped. You place your tag, and then obviously the Wishing Tree champions will pick it up, and then the Salvation representative will come pick them and then go to the needy
And
families.
can I say, as we've said before, folks, you don't have to buy your gifts at Kmart. It'd be great if you wanted to buy it at Kmart. I actually think it's a one-stop shop. For me, I go to Kmart. I bought this little gift here. See it? The little Father Christmas from the new Kmart range, which we've got in the front of here. But all you have to do is wrap up this beautiful gift.
That's correct.
Then you stick your tag. Now, on the tag, folks, it just says basically it's for a baby, a toddler, a child, a teen, an adult, or senior. You put in the age group. So when this goes on the tree, under the tree, that is, with the wrapped gift, it's easier for the Kmart staff and the Salvation Army to be able to say, yep, that's for a female, aged 50 to 70. And that's the other thing. It's not just for children.
No, Fred, it's obviously for the elderly. There's a lot of elderly people out there that don't have many families, and they are more willing to have a gift. And as I said to you on the radio, you know, people have their time, they spend a lot of time, and for people like that, not just for children.
Do we know how many gifts you brought in last year from
Well-
Kmart?
Well, what, overall?
Yeah, overall.
Oh, well, overall, I'll give the actual whole total. In
Go
the
for it.
whole 30 years that it has been running, they have collected more than 8 million gifts.
Well done.
In overall,
Well
in the
done.
30
Can we
years.
let's give Kmart a round of applause, because they manage it all.
Thank you.
And Frances probably bought about 9 million of them herself. But you
No.
know what? That's a great
Yeah.
achievement.
So you're looking at, I mean, they obviously set a goal, like they would like 400,000 this year, Australia, but every gift counts, as you know.
And can I say, you're pretty special, because you got the highest in WA at Maddington.
year. Yes, we
She
did.
obviously is very good at persuading people that they need to help.
Well, it's not that. I think it's just
You're
the
not good?
community. I am good. All right, you say that, but I might as well
But you
take it
are.
on
But I
me.
mean, do you know what? We all do stuff for charity, and you know you don't
Yes.
get paid to do this.
No.
You do it because you love it, and you are good at what you do, and that's why you keep coming back every year, because people know they can trust you, and people like you.
Thank
And
you.
it is very important. And if people trust you, they'll say, yep, Francis told me. I'm going to get that tree organised.
That's
It must
right.
be a hard thing to come in every single year that you get given this role in your shop and you take it on board. Is it hard? Is it hard to keep getting people to bring presents in?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I do have others that help me, and we work as a team. But I think, as I say, during up to it, we all have our meetings, and we have to, tell our staff what we're going to do. I think it's just not me and the others, the whole team. The checkouts, because there's all the information at the checkouts, but the door greeter, because the wishing tree's near the door greeter, so a lot the door greeter is informed what to say. So it's not just me; it's a whole team effort.
No, look, fantastic. Now, don't forget, we've got a time limit as well, up to Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
Is that right?
24th of December.
You can bring your presents into Kmart, only Kmart. Put your tags on them, etc. Wrap them up, make sure they're wrapped. You can give them food, folks. You can give them food, but not perishable food. We don't want bananas and stuff like that.
No.
If you're going to do tin food, maybe Christmas cakes,
Christmas cakes, biscuits,
anything you can
yeah.
eat that can last.
Yep.
Okay? And do we want them kept separate as well?
Yes, they'll be put under the tree, obviously, and then it's up to the Wishing Tree champion to make sure that they're kept separate and then passed on to the Salvation Army rep.
And not only do I see this year you've got a new T-shirt.
Yes,
which
we all got new T-shirts.
I wish that would come in my size. Can we try it? It's actually a beautiful colour. I actually like it. And it says 30 years.
It's lovely, 30 years. So it looks quite nice, doesn't
You're
it?
very proud of being a Kmart employee,
Yes,
aren't
I am.
you? And it shows, and I think it's really fantastic because I love Kmart as well. The Christmas Eve deadline, we want them in the stores.
Yep.
The people need to bring those gifts in.
Yep.
Then they go to the Salvation Army, and Salvation
Yes.
Army, after that point, distribute them, don't
Distribute them to the families. But all through the up to it, obviously they get picked up regular. Our representative will be picking them up twice a week and then passing them on.
Now, if you want to know more information about the Kmart Wishing Tree, there is a website which you can look it up. It's on screen right now. There it is. It's kmart.com.au/community. Click on the Wishing Tree and all the details will be there. Or you can call into any of the Kmart stores around Australia. They're the ones that aren't blue and white and they're still in business and doing really well. Kmart Australia, part of Wesfarmers, West Australian, which I'm really proud of as well. Pop into the stores and you'll see staff just like Francis here.
Thank you,
Ask
Fred.
them the question.
Yes, they're all
and,
there.
and they're all helpful.
Helpful.
Wonderful. Are you
No
hoping
worries.
for a big achievement this year?
Yes, we are. We put ourselves a goal. We would like 5,000 gifts. But as I said to you, big or small,
Or
every
6,000.
gift is precious to
Now,
us.
this week, we've got
Yes.
the launch at Maddington for
Yes,
us, for
on
me
the
and you.
15th.
So
of
what's
November,
happening
not
on
this
that
week.
day?
Well, on that day we have our local school, Forest Crescent School, is coming to sing, and then we have obviously the Mayor of Gosnells who will be doing an official speech. Denise from the Salvation Army from Gosnells will be doing a speech explaining how the gifts go. And then obviously we're going to do the cutting of the cake, and we got Santa,
Are we
Mrs.
doing
Claus.
the eating of the cake?
Yes, we're going to have cupcakes and cake, of course.
I'm a diabetic, so I can only probably have a limit of 6 cakes.
Oh, there's going to be
I've-
more than enough for you.
not if I get to them.
And
Can
that.
I just say to you, it is this week. I've just checked my date of this show going to air. 15th
yes,
in
it
about
is.
4 days' time.
That's
We
right.
want you all to come down. Please come down. And what time do we want them to? About 10:30?
Wait, 10:30 because it'll be officially launched at 11.
And dress up in Christmas clothes if you want. Just have fun. Be down there. You'll see the mayor. You'll see some special people. You'll see me and Francis.
Yes.
And you can bring your presents at the same time. What a great idea. Or have a look at the range. Kmart's got some amazing Christmas stuff. Lots of toys this year coming in as well. This is some of the stuff. Is this just a selection of the Christmas
That's
stuff?
just a selection.
I
yes,
love it.
I heard this is a very popular and this nerve gun. So
Oh, fantastic.
I thought I'd bring them in. And
You
we
are
can
a
all go.
wonderful person.
Thank you.
Francis, we're going to catch up with you on the launch.
Yes.
And we're going to take some footage as well, but we're going to see you back here in a few weeks' time as well.
No worries. Thank
Francis
you.
Higgins, she's the mascot for Kmart's Wishing Tree at Maddington, but she keeps the whole state going here in WA. But you over east, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, everywhere, Tasmania, Queensland, wherever you are, you've got Kmart. Get under that tree, drop off your present wrapped up, fill out your tags. Very easy. There they are there. And you can be part of it and support heaps of people who get nothing for Christmas. These are people who just don't get food, they don't get gifts, they don't get anything. Kids and adults. So thank you very much.
No worries, Fred. Thank you for having me.
No, you're very welcome. We'll have you back very soon.
Thank
now, we
you.
need to go out today because we're right out of time, I've been told. Feedback are going to perform for us for a fantastic song. It's called Green Light. See you next week on The Couch. Bye-bye.
I do my makeup in somebody else's car. We order different drinks at the same bars. I know
know about what you did, and I wanna scream the truth. She thinks you love the beach, you're such a damn liar. That was great and white, say you had big teeth. Oh, they bite you. Thought you said that you would always be in love, but you're not in love no more. Did it frighten you? How we kissed when we danced on the light floor, on the light floor. But I hear sounds in my mind, brand new sounds in my mind. But honey, I'll be seeing you ever I go. But honey, I'll be seeing you down every road. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it all. Come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it all. I could get my things and just let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. Sometimes I wake up in a different bedroom. I whisper things the city sings them back to you. Those rumors, they have big teeth. Oh, they bite you. Thought you said that you would always be in love, but you're not in love no more. Did it frighten you? How we kissed when we danced on the light floor, on the light floor. But I hear sounds in my mind, brand new sounds in my mind. But honey, I'll be seeing you ever I go. But honey, I'll be seeing you down every road. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it all. Come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it all. Come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it all. Come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it all. I could get my things and just let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it. I'm waiting for it, that green light. I want it.
This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Porto Chicken. Fresh, not frozen. Grilled, not fried. Crown and Andrews Board Games. Fun for the whole family. And Scoot Airlines. Get out of here with Scoot.